Welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast, where we discuss and analyze your favorite marble sports. From JMR Marble League to Algodu tournaments, we'll make sure you never miss the action. All marble sports, all the time, right here on the MSW Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast. My name is Brendan.
And I'm Commander Wolf.
I'm glad you went with that, dude.
That is one of the stupidest intros I think we've done.
Oh, we try to keep it interesting. We do try to keep it interesting.
We
I hope
do.
everybody had a good New Year's, which was last Monday, right? And a good Christmas. Last Friday, sorry. Last Friday was New Year's.
I hope I hope our I believe based on my research, I think Kwanzaa is a holiday that celebrates African American history. So I guess for any of our fans who celebrated Kwanzaa, I hope your Kwanzaa was fantastic.
Yeah, if you are celebrating Kwanzaa, I hope that it went so well. Maybe we'll get some emails about that. But yes, good time to remind you, email into the show. Please do. mswpodcast@gmail.com. That's mswpodcast@gmail.com. Talk about marbles. Talk about your opinions on the upcoming JMR stuff, other marble sports. Say anything. We'll read it on the show and engage with you in that manner. And we love to engage with you guys in those ways. So tell us about your New Year's. Tell us what you do for New Year's, for Christmas. We want to hear all about that as well, if you want to email in. So we hope you guys email in. That keeps the show interesting and, unpredictable in a sense. So hopefully we'll get some from you guys in the next week as well. So, yeah, but this is coming into a new year of marble sports, 2021, finally beginning. And there's a lot of new JMR ideas. Marble Mania X, we have this Winter Marble League thing, we got some possible changes in the structuring of tournaments and the maybe disappearance of one of the old tournaments, actually the beginning of the JMR's channel Marble Sports series. So we'll talk about all that. But yeah, for me, I mean, and I don't know about for what, but at least for me, it's been a very quiet last week. Nothing especially new that happened to me. I did watch this old movie, Back to the Future. I'm sure most people have seen it, but I had never seen it, so I did watch that movie. It was very good. I did enjoy it quite a bit, better than I expected it was going to be. But yeah, I'm glad I saw that because I know a lot of people had mentioned seeing that that was a big movie, but I had never seen it until this past weekend. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've only seen the end of Back to the Future 2. That's the only thing I've seen. So I need to rectify that at some point. Yeah.
And I also watched the third season of Cobra Kai came out, binged through it. So good. I highly recommend if you haven't watched Cobra Kai and you enjoyed Karate Kid or you're just looking for something new to watch, Cobra Kai, watch it. Same with Queen's Gambit. That's another series I watched recently. Those two series is they're not super long. 3 seasons of Cobra Kai, 1 season or one just thing of the Queen's Gambit. It's a different series. Both of them are good. Cobra Kai is like a continuation Karate Kid. The Queen's Gambit's about chess. They're both very, very awesome series to take up some time during your quarantine. Go watch them, please. But yeah, that's all I really got for you guys. Some TV ideas when you're not watching marbles, of course. Wolf, you got anything to say for the intro?
No, I think it's about it. Really nothing has happened. So I'm just kind of getting ready, waiting for, I guess, school to start again. I'm not sure when that'll happen. Life's pretty boring right now, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I agree. And we try to keep it interesting with marbles, and we're glad to be with you guys bringing you the show today. And I'm sure Johnny Marble would be very glad to bring you the news this week. So let's head to the news. We'll see you on the other side with our special guest today. in marble sports, very knowledgeable about marble sports. Well, let's get to Johnny Marble and this week's Marble News.
Hello, Marble sports fans. I am Johnny Marble, and as always, I'm coming to you for MSW. But this time, it's the After Dark Smooth Marble. At least, until this bit becomes unfunny. Let's get into it. The Marble League Winter Special has begun with the return of the Ice Dash, where marbles would race down a long stretch of ice to the finish line. In Group A, things were already heating up as Blue Eye broke the Marble League record, and Smoggy barely managed to move on by only 0.001 seconds, which also led to them flying out of the catch basin. In Semifinal A, this trend continued, with Momo securing the Marble League record for themselves, and because of their incredible speed, they bounced back into Starry and launched them off the track. That is not smooth sailing, baby. But both marbles received a medical checkup, and fortunately, none of them suffered a major injury. The final race was close, and in the end, Blue Eye took first, followed by Smoggy in second and Momo in third. The Winter Marble League Special is off to a strong start, and we look forward to the next event. Well guys, I've been Johnny Marble, smooth marble that is, and you're the best fan in the world. Let's take it back and continue on with the podcast. Ow!
Welcome back from the news, everybody. Thank you, Johnny Marble, for bringing us another exciting news segment covering the first sequence of events that have occurred in 2021, marble sports related. This is the first time. This is the first thing that's happened in 2021, marble sports wise. That would be the Winter Marble League Ice Dash. And I can't wait to talk about the Ice Dash because there's a lot of interesting points to mention the Ice Dash. We got fantasy, of course. And we got a very poignant question that I'm going to be bringing up regarding the Ice Dash versus the 5-meter sprint. And we're going to get to that. But we're going to start this episode a little different. We're going to start with some emails. We got a few. And actually, Waff's going to read one of them. So, Waff, take us away for the first email.
Wait. Introduce our guest.
Introduce our guest. I'm so stupid. I hate when I do this. Every single time we start, like this, like go back in the episodes. Half the time that we've had a guest, I start into the topic and forget our guest. I don't even know should we even edit this out or should people just listen to this cringeworthy situation? All right, let's start with our guest and then we'll do the emails. Mikotan, please say hello to everybody out there. Our guest is Mikotan. He's very into the Marble Sports community. He's been listening to the shows recently a lot, and he's been a part of JMR's Discord server for a while. Mikotan, please say hi to everybody. I'm so sorry.
No worries, it happens. Anyways, hello everyone. My name is Mikotan. I am very glad to be here. I was actually kind of surprised to be slightly honored to be the very first guest of 2021, which is kind of crazy.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we're glad to have you. You've been very informative and just very, very knowledgeable, it seems, when we've talked to you the past couple of weeks after the show regarding marble sports. We figured it'd be a great way to kick off 2021. Some good, deep marble sports talk where we can really dive into the new events that we have put in front of us. I do want to ask you, since you are a first-time guest, we have a natural question we ask every first-time guest. Waff, please, let's do this at the same time this time. Please.
All right.
I'm going to count down from 3. All right? 3, 2, 1. How did you get into marble sports? That was
Kinda
better.
fixed it
That was better.
Yeah,
That was like better than the last time. So how did you get into marble sports, Mikotan? Tell everybody.
Well, I first heard about it in around 2017 to 2018. But obviously, like probably a lot of other people, I got into it during 2020 because I watch John Oliver quite a bit, and he mentioned Yelly's Marble, Yelly's Marbles runs, and I was like, oh yeah, I think I've heard about this before, and I went to the channel and like I watched a few events, and obviously because there was no Olympics this year, or last year, 2020. And then like, oh hey, here's the Marble League. I kind of watched that in its place, and just like that, I was hooked.
Yeah, many people are hooked in a similar fashion. I'm glad that after seeing it before, you came around this year. Now, and now you're on a podcast. So how about that? You probably never expected to be in this position, but I'm glad you are with us.
No,
so
I did not expect that too.
What are your preferences as far as teams go and events go? I'll ask this question in two parts. Number one, what is your favorite team? Did it change from when you started liking JMR to like right now? Number two, what is your favorite series that JMR does on their channel, if you have one?
Well, so to answer the first question, as I was, really as I was just trying to, watch the teams, I didn't really have I was just trying to, understand it and, look at the events, and I didn't start with a favorite team. Though when I saw, and it wasn't this year, when I started going back and watching the previous events, I remember watching, I think it was one of the water based events. I think it was a quathon. It wasn't this year's. It was I think it was last year or the year before that. And I remember in one of the heats, I saw that the hazers did incredibly well. And you notice that when they do this, when they start spinning underwater, they have this beautiful glow that none of the other teams have. And I thought, okay, well that looks really cool. And when you know it, they want that, and it's like, boom, okay, I'm a Hazers fan.
Okay. So you're still a Hazers fan to this day?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm still a Hazers fan. I do have other teams. If they don't do well, I do have other teams that I do like to root for, of course. Like I like rooting for Team Galactic. I do sometimes like to root for like the Green Ducks. So
okay. Yeah, those are good choices. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a good spread of teams, and your spread of teams, those three that you mentioned, are actually quite good performers. Hazers are pretty consistent. Green Ducks have been very good of late, and Team Galactic is one of the most consistently mediocre to good teams in JMR. So yeah, you have a good spread and good opportunities for strong performance in the coming events. So that's very interesting. I'm glad you're into marble sports, like I said, and I'm glad that you're able to embark on this journey with us. And because marble sports only started a few years ago, so we're really at the beginning here. As this whole situation grows. Yeah, what?
Yeah, and I was going to say, like this whole thing, this whole phenomenon, I guess it's I understand that it's still a relatively new phenomenon. So I know that there's going to be that there's still a lot of new things, a lot of new events, a lot of new developments that will always be happening and such. And
right.
And in the second to answer your second question, for my favorite event or events, it's difficult to say because some of them a lot of them are all really fun. But if I have to pick one or two, I would have to say the relay race and collision.
Okay.
Two very good events.
Two extremely, I would even say, Waff, to up your adjective. Good events in Marble League. Relay Race is an absolute classic. In my opinion, you cannot have a Marble League without a Relay Race, or the Marble League has been executed incorrectly. And of course, Collision is a fan favorite. You cannot knock the chaos element of Collision.
And also, like, I mean, because like both of them, I think those two sports really kind of exemplify the whole idea and the whole concept of they encompass the Marble League itself, because it's obviously there are a couple of there are a few of the only events which includes the entire team. Like Collision is in fact, I think, the only one which includes the entire team, including the reserve member. And it is just I think it really gives it really shows just how these events and how little details, little subtle movements, can change, the outcome of can change the outcome, and one false move, and that could literally make or break, that could be
Right.
the difference between
Right.
You getting on the podium or not even. So that's why we appreciate that.
Marble sports is a sport of millimeters, I would say, of milliseconds. Tiny moves, tiny calculations out there on the field can cause disastrous or very positive outcomes depending on where they happen. Yes, thank you, Mikotan, for giving that insight on your preferences in marble sports. Really do enjoy hearing that. But so like I said before, we're going to start with emails now that we've introduced our guests, so I'm glad that we did the introduction finally. So we're going to start with emails. Again, mswpodcast@gmail.com. Email in, say whatever you want. We want to hear it. And then after that, one of our emails is actually going to bring us into our first topic. Then after that, we will cover Winter Marble League Event 1. So, Waf, do you want to start us off? I know you wanted to read one of the emails.
Yes. So this first email comes in from Terry. When a stranger's to marbles, the show's end. So do I. Something that did not flow as well. This email is written, in case you didn't know, with the lyrics of Rick Astley in mind. Oh yeah. Another Emma would be a Marvel. You wouldn't get this from other channel guys. They saved it there at the end. I'll give them that. They saved it at the end. That was actually pretty good.
No, yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. See, you can email that.
Oh, I did it wrong. I was like, the shows, and so do I.
Very good, Waf. Our
there we go. It was my fault. I apologize, Terry. I ruined your great joke.
No, I think it was great. So thank you, Terry, for emailing in. We really appreciate that bit of humor. And now for the more serious emails. All right, so we got from Richard Hinckley, subjected the 2020 Adventure Marble League Marble of the Year winner. All right, let's see what this is. Top Marble of the Year in the Adventure Marble League with 4 championships is Crystal Clear. That's the name of the marble. I would like to congratulate Mystery, another name, for winning the Adventure Marble League Obstacle Cup Championship, and Mint Shamrock for winning Season 5 of the Adventure Marble League. All right, so there you go. An email. He's I guess that's his tournament that he runs, as far as I can remember.
Congratulations,
the Adventure Marble League. So it's wrapped up, and he's telling us who won. So good job to Mystery and Crystal Clear for being excellent marble competitors. Maybe you'll make it to JMR one day. And then here's our final email, which is going to bring us into our first topic before we cover Winter Marble League, and that is written to us by Edu GJ. Rally shutdown is the subject. During the short winter Marble League debut, a message sent by the official JMR account in the YouTube live chat states that the Sand Rally series is not a production priority of the channel right now. Because of the low amount of views in the recent videos, may this be a sign of discontinuation of SMR? May the events return to a one-off state like in 2015? What do you think of the uncertain future? That is a very, very good question, and I want to hear from all of us here, Waf and Mikotan, on the show about this, because this is a really important thing that believe it or not, Waf, we have discussed this indirectly multiple times.
I think you're right. I think in the past we have definitely addressed this. To actually quote the direct message is like, not enough views for the SMR. We need more viewers, otherwise it's not beneficial. Now, I'm pretty sure we stopped. Like Dion kind of runs the YouTube channel, and so I think this is Dion saying that it's not worth the amount of time that's put into SMR, and that because they could spend that time doing something else to get more back. I think is what it could be. So I think that's what Dion is coming from in regards to that. It's like saying that basically if we're not getting enough views, it's not getting enough money back, and so it'd be more beneficial to do something else. I guess since we're on the topic of SMR, I do want to like kind of clarify one thing that we've been harping on a lot, like the past 2 episodes, like how like, oh, why they just like drop SMR in the middle of the season. We as Americans, we are like we're not really realizing this, but like in Europe, they were under a second wave of shutdowns, so like they couldn't go to the hill to record. So there was a good reason why they had to take a break from SMR. Like they physically couldn't go to the recording station, the hill that they record at. So there's a completely justifiable reason why they took a break from that. But I just wanted to get out of the way so people like know, like, yes, we're aware, or at least I was aware, and now everybody else is hopefully aware. But anyways, for the actual question at hand, it's interesting. SMR has been a part of the Yale's Marble runs for so long. It's kind of strange to imagine not having it,
and not just. Luff, I mean, not just a part of JMR. SMR is the beginning.
You're right.
It did not start in Marble Olympics. It did not start in Marbula 1. It started in sand races outside. That's what pulled everybody into marble sports to begin with. Mm-hmm. And so it seems very odd that would be the series that would be discontinued. Just because, well, I mean, I guess they have a point. I mean, if fans aren't taking enough of an interest, and that's a problem. But I mean, it seems like that was what started JMR. Why let that go? And my question that I want to ask both you and Mikotan to cash in as we continue this conversation is this: is this? I mean, okay. To go back to what Edu said, he asked kind of similar questions. May this be a sign of discontinuation of SMR? The uncertain future, talk about that. Will the events return to a one-off state? Okay, so it's possible that SMR may end. But if it does, let's say SMR ends. Is this because of JMR? Is this JMR's fault for how they executed SMR? Or is it because the fans, even though JMR executed everything perfectly and did everything they possibly could, it is the fans who just, prefer Marble League or prefer Marbula 1 more to SMR no matter what? I'll open that up to you guys. I have opinions on that, but I want to hear what you guys have to say first.
Mm-hmm. Wolf, you want to go first?
You seem to want to say something, Mikotan, so I'll let you go first.
Okay. Well,
you guys are so kind to each other.
Okay. Well, to be honest, it's like, okay, with a lot of these, topics and events and such and speculation, because we can only speculate. I'm always wary. Yeah, I'm always wary when to make a call too early. Just be like, there's like, this is not high on our priority list. Well, again, let's take a step back. As you said, yes, SMR has been a part of JMR Yale's Marble runs for a very long time. However, there's only so many variations that I think JMR can truly do with it. And now with the introduction of, Marbula 1, different, and a bunch of other different types of events, it is very possible that what the fans, what the bases, their tastes may have shifted and such. That's also possible. But it is also possible, and maybe it may be prudent that that JMR maybe not completely discontinue SMR, but to at least probably take a hiatus for at least a year. I know that would probably a lot of fans would probably dislike that, but I think it is also worth noting for them to spend more time to try out different events, to try and maybe once the I guess the conditions are are right, then they can like, okay,
Right.
we're going to rework this a little bit. We're going to maybe try a few new, maybe try something new and such. And I mean, I think it's nice because it does kind of segue a little bit into what I was going to mention for the Winter Marble League, at least. Is why not give the racers, the SMR racers, a chance to relax a little bit, a chance just to catch up, and take a break. After racing for how many, for how long, maybe it's well deserved. We don't know.
Yeah, I think you have a good point. I think you're addressing the more positive end of the situation. I think you're looking at it in a good way, but I would like to really focus in on the more negative side of it. And that is the facts. Let's talk about the facts. It is a fact. It is not an opinion. It is not an opinion I'm giving. It is an absolute fact that the viewers on JMR's channel do not prefer SMR. That is not something you can argue. That is not something that is arguable. I can pull up on the YouTube right now the difference in views between SMR and every other tournament they've run now. Well, Hugh Bellino, whatever, but I'm talking more about Marble League. I'm talking more about Marbula 1. The view counts are distinctively different. And whether they decide to end SMR or continue SMR, and you think they continue, you think maybe they're giving a time off, and Loft saying there's a delay, and all these things are facts. All these things are true, is what you're saying, and all these things are good points that you should consider in the present situation. But when I take a step back and really look long run here, I see a situation where SMR is already not the favorite, or not even the second favorite, the least favorite of the viewers of JMR. And when I see that, and it's been like that for years since Marble Olympics came on many years ago, my conclusion at least is that JMR is not doing enough, or is not doing the right things to bring more attention to SMR. Because I think SMR can be just exciting as a Marble League, as Marbula 1, but it's presented in a bad format. And in my opinion, what should be done, instead of scrapping SMR, which was the literal base of their channel, the beginning of Marble Sports on JMR, they should try a few things to see if the fans might like it. Even put out a poll or a question that would ask the fans what they'd want. And here's just a few things you could do. You need to bring more importance to SMR. Sorry. Choked a little there. You need to bring more meaning to the events in SMR. And the thing is, there's not right now. There's single racers. They don't matter. Who are these single racers? Yeah, there are the 100,000 loyal JMR fans who will always watch it. But as far as the wide variety of fans out there, the millions of subscribers, there's not the interest. So they don't know who these marbles are. They know who Savage Speeders are. They know who Crazy Cat's Eyes are. They know who Snowballs are. That's what they're there for. And in my opinion, something that could be tried, and it could be many possible ways to imagine this, but something that could be tried is maybe to really integrate those teams in SMR. Not necessarily race those marbles, but maybe really try to tie them together. Say, okay, each of the JMR teams, all, how many, 28 of them? That's enough. Have a counterpart in SMR that not necessarily is a marble that will also compete in the other thing, but a larger marble that also represents those JMR teams from Marble League. So, for example, Snowballs might have a 21 millimeter marble that's all white that will race in SMR. So that when you go over to SMR and you watch SMR happen and the Snowball counterpart wins, it's not just a win for that particular marble, it's a win for the Snowballs. So that's going to pull all those fans over from the Snowballs from Marble League that are going to come over and be interested, because right now it's not interesting to those fans. And that's my first thing. My second thing, I'm sorry, I just want to get this big thought out. This has been on my mind, and then we'll deliberate. My second thought is this. Now, I have said time and time again how the tracks, okay, first of all, I understand how difficult it is to create the sand tracks. It's hard. It takes a long time to mold those tracks with the perfect amount of weather and the perfect amount of moisture and mold those perfect troughs, and it's a long track. I understand that takes a long time. I understand that. And I really am already impressed and really appreciate even the normal looking tracks that they've produced, is the ones that aren't super creative but are just there. I appreciate them to the max because it's amazing that it even exists. But I feel that if they want to take SMR to the next level, now what are we now? 5 years in? I mean, to SMR 6
Yes?
even, when they need to take it to the next level is to really up the creativity of the tracks. You know, maybe a terrain change, maybe a really giant couple of features in there that really blow it forward. Like, wow, look at this. This is new. This is unexpected. So those are the two things I think JMR would need to do if they want to pull that interest back, or some things in the same ballpark, but maybe not exactly what I said. But I think that those problems, whether the present situation is what it is or not, those problems need to be addressed, or SMR will continue to be on the decline. Sorry for all that ramble, but I really wanted to get that out. I'll open it up to you guys to see how you have to react to that.
Yeah, so you guys brought up some interesting points, like how and I think Mikotan definitely mentioned something about how is like there's not so much you can do with the style of racing they've done, and Brendan, you and I we kind of mentioned like how there's maybe a few things you can do to make them more interesting. But at the end of the day, Miko, you are right. Like, there is not really much you can do with just that sand hill all the time. And but we talked a lot about how they changed the name to Marble Rally, and we always thought that meant they were going to do something that wasn't just sand, to branch out, to add more variety, to help with that issue. But still, nothing has come of that name change.
True.
It's just very confusing. Why they changed the name? Because if that issue with attention and viewership is that, it's basically just become repetitive, which admittedly it is, because there's only so much you can do. Then why not just do something add something to it, add in tracks, add in different materials like dirt or snow if the season allows, add in some interesting new obstacles, do something concrete, they just do concrete races in the Marble League sometimes. There are definitely things that they could do to make them more interesting. I think naturally, this is kind of how it happens on YouTube channels. Is there are certain things that always just become the priority, that becomes the most viewed thing on the channel. They couldn't control that Marble League would become the most viewed thing on their channel. They had no idea when they started making it. That's just how it worked out. And so ultimately they it's all part of it is not necessarily just maybe that the quality of SMR is the issue, just that people just simply have a preference, and I don't think that they should drop it, because while it doesn't really cost much to make it, it definitely takes a lot of time to make it. So I can understand using that time for something else, but at the same time, we've talked about that they kind of stretch themselves very thin, and especially recently with how many things they're trying to do. So honestly, having that, I don't see an issue with SMR taking up that downtime, and in my opinion, at least, it was weird to see it go. I'm definitely more of a Marble League fan than an SMR fan. I don't think there's many people who would say that. Well, we've met a few people who said they prefer SMR over Marble League.
They're few and far between, okay? Just like the victories of the Limers, okay? They're there, but they're not there often.
Yeah, it's hard to say, man. It's been there for so long. It's weird to imagine it not being there, but at the same time, they're definitely. I don't think they're. I would say that. Well, I was gonna say that they're not losing money on it because they're not really investing money into it. But then I remember, time is technically money. So
time
the time
is
you
money.
spend on that,
Time is
you
money.
could spend on something
especially for
money.
A YouTube channel.
I mean,
the opportunity cost is huge on a YouTube channel, because for every minute you spend on one series that may or may not be bringing you revenue on the channel, you could be spending it on another series or building upon a current series that would also be possibly bringing in more revenue. So the opportunity cost of time on a YouTube channel is quite high, and is quite meaningful. Mikotan, what do you think about all this?
Well, I mean, okay, both you two do bring up, very fair points, and but like I said, I mean, it all depends on, again, how you choose to see this. Yes, SMR has been an integral part, but and it's how JMR originally started. But there's two ways. There's another way to see that. Another way you can see is they're going to say that they evolved, they matured into doing the ML team. And with the ML teams, it's like, you can have a lot of different events, and they're still the same. They're still the same teams. That causes other issues, which I might or might not get down. Talk about later. But the simple fact is, it's like, if you're fans of like certain teams and stuff like that, and then you switch to SMR, it doesn't quite translate at that point.
It
So
does not. You're correct.
it doesn't translate, number one. And like I said, number two is, because they started doing, these more variety of events. I think for the fans, too, it's like, yeah, this thing has been around for so long, but I think also, again, the people, like the fans, like their tastes also have changed. I mean, which is why, like, they eventually shut down or discontinued the Jubilino tournament. I did watch the videos and such, and yeah, it's definitely, it isn't bad and such, but I think the more practical reason, is, it seems like that JMR is trying to move towards events that are more indoor based, simply because they have more control over the environment.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
have
you make an
control.
Yeah.
extremely good point. You making it like, yeah, that is.
And in case you haven't noticed, like, the entire Marble League 2020, Marbula Season 1, Marbula Season 2, it's all in, their entire setup is all indoors.
Well, you're making a fine point. You're not making a point that I like, because I don't like the lack of outdoor events. I think outdoor events is what really adds the uniqueness to any particular Marble League. But you're making a point that is correct.
Correct.
Okay,
Like,
it's not a
yeah.
point. It's a good point. They've been moving. I mean, they didn't even have the San Marble Rally to end the Marble League this year. I mean, it was really ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it. And so, I mean, it would be hard pressed for me to say that JMR is not in some way happy that SMR is one of the least performing series on their channel.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't really know. I don't really know what the problem is with SMR, besides the fact that because Marble League is already much better than SMR, but one of the reasons Marbula 1 has been so successful is that, there is meaningfulness in Marbula 1 because the Marble League teams are in Marbula 1. Okay?
Right.
So I feel like there's a lot of different directions that JMR could take here, but I feel like any direction they take, whether SMR is replaced by Marble Mania X, SMR is just removed and they focus more on Marble League, SMR is shortened into, like, I don't know, 6 races and they show it in 2 weekends or whatever, made it more of a marathon based thing. Whatever they do, I think they need to realize that the meaningfulness of the event will increase if the Marble League teams are integrated into the event, whether it be by just a partner marble that races out there or what. There needs to be some integration of that meaning, because as long as there's no integration of the meaning, there's no point to watch. For a lot of people, not saying I don't want to watch, I love marbles, I'm going to watch it. A lot of people do. But there's a lot of people who will not watch it, who'll be like, well, Marble League is great, and these are the teams I like. And Marbula 1 I'll check in on because we got Savage Speeders in there. But, I mean, this Cool Moody, Marble League McMarble face, what is that? I mean, that's not, I don't know those and marbles. I'm a Savage Speeders fan. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's what people probably will be saying. I'm not saying they should be saying that. I'm saying that's probably what they are saying.
Yeah.
So that does affect how they should, act in the future.
No, and you do bring up a good point, but then here's another point too. Well, as a site, related to environment. One, the thing is, because it's outside. Another big, big factor, again, like real world sports, is weather and lighting. If
Right.
have you noticed, again, SMR has always taken place, when it's sunny. If it's not sunny and it's cloudy, the lighting is going to absolutely suck. And don't forget,
Right.
and let's be honest, in the winter months, their daylight is much short. The simple fact is that daylight
That's true.
time is much shorter. You can't get around that fact. Okay, so
I'm not going to get around it. Nope.
Right. And I'm just saying, like, it's, I'm sorry sad to say it is, a harsh truth, but the simple fact is when they're indoors, I'm pretty sure they have like, a garage or some kind of studio, they can shoot, 8, 9, 10, 12 o'clock in the evening for all they care.
Yeah.
Versus, and they can do all these different things. They can shoot, they can plan and all this. Versus if you try to do them outside, you're completely, SOL. Sorry to say that, but that's, no, but those are the facts. I'm not disputing, the fact that, yeah, they're not as popular. And would it be popular if, like, let's say you swapped out the marbles for the ML teams? I think, holy crap, it would be, a lot, SMR would be a lot, would be more, I guess, approachable. But again, it doesn't. It's still, you still cannot get around the fact that JMR just simply does not have that much control over the environment, and that's the main problem. They can't get around that.
Yeah, that poses a difficulty, and that poses a difficulty that is kind of poisoned, in my opinion, all the other events JMR does. Marble League, Marbula 1. The fact that we don't see a lot of outside aspects. But I mean, I don't know. This is not something where I can really say that I think they should keep SMR, because I mean, like we just said, it's not as popular. It's not. And if this is what's best for the channel, if removing SMR is going to allow JMR to continue to not only make Marble League and Marbula 1, but make them even better because they have more time and they have more money and they're not wasting that on something that's not as popular, then I say that's what it needs to happen. Mm-hmm. Change is important. Change is not always good for everybody, but change is always necessary to move forward. Mm-hmm. And now 7 years even after the first Marble Sports ever hit the channel of JMR, maybe a change is necessary to keep the integrity of the channel moving forward. And maybe it will change back in a few years. Maybe we'll get pushback and people will be like, bring back SMR, and someone will come up with a new idea for SMR, but this is a better version that should have happened before, but JMR didn't think of it or didn't want to do it like that. And now we have a new opportunity to bring it back and bring it back in a better force. Maybe that's going to happen, but now that we got so many series planned, Marble League, Marbula 1, and now this Marble Mania X, maybe for now, and maybe for now, I would say it would be better if they took a time off from SMR.
Well, and also, I mean, the simple fact is, like any kind of business or just us, as a species, we have to learn to change and adapt to the times. Again, those are the facts and such. I mean, if you take a look at, for example, an example is MGM. MGM, this one, for people who don't know, Metro Golden Mayer is the famous, has the lion opening. And they used to do movies.
Mm-hmm. I know what you're talking about. I love that lion opening, by the way. It just kind of, it sets a nice classical mood to the movie you're about to watch. Like, this is going to be some good stuff.
True, but of course now MGM is now, they're still in the entertainment business, but now they're running and owning, casinos. They've changed and they've adapted and such. Because that's just how things happen. So, I mean, again, you can debate, the good and bad, but it's an change, not just necessary, it's inevitable.
Right.
Not just
no,
like
yeah,
that.
I agree that there needs to be change. I'm gonna address a couple things here, and then we should probably get to trivia. Waf, by the way, do you have anything you wanted to say regarding anything here before I bring us towards trivia?
Yeah, so you are 100% right that if they involved the Marble League teams, it would get more viewers. The problem I have is that just makes the world feel smaller. These are the only athletes apparently that actually matter in this whole gigantic universe. Apparently the world is just as big as ours, but these other athletes exist. I would prefer if they go with our idea of expanding it, making it more interesting, actually do something with the fact that they changed the name to Marble Rally, do other things to spice it up. Don't just throw it all
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, well, you're making a point that also cannot be easily argued with. Yeah, I mean, do we want the world? That is a question that you as a listener should ask yourself right now. All of you. I mean, I don't know how many y'all listening this week, but if you're listening, I need you to stop what you're doing and ask yourself this question right now. Do you want marble sports on JMR to be limited and entrapped inside a world where only the 16 teams or 28 teams of Marble League are the ones that matter, are the ones that are important, are the ones that live in the world of marble sports and are recognized? Because Waff makes an incredible point that it's just it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that the Savage Beaters are the only good team ever, and there's no other teams no other marbles from other places doing other events that are good. So that is a good point that can be talked about. But I will say that the only other way to really save Marble Rally, if you're not going to change the marbles, is to really blow it out of the water. Like I said, like Waff said, Marble Rally. Instead of just saying Marble Rally, let's throw some new trains in there, throw some incredible features, throw some racing things that you didn't even know were coming in there, and just really blow it out of the water. But that change would also require a lot of time. Couple things I'm addressing when we're heading to trivia. Number one, I am upset that they might make this decision mid-season. I think that as an honest channel with a honest, transparent community that respects the channel and what they do, it would be only correct for them to, no matter what, make sure they finish out the season of SMR, even if it's 2 years from now, finish it out. 6 more races, you can do it. That should happen. I don't even care if you want to do it or you don't want to do it. You cannot start something. You cannot start something with a channel as big as JMR. I know people about to say, well, you started the Algodo League on your MSW channel and never finished it. I get that, but my channel's small. You cannot start something with over 1 million subscribers on your channel, getting all those views, and just be like halfway through, okay, we're not finishing it. You cannot do it. You cannot. It's rude almost to do that. So I expect them to finish that. They should do that. That's the correct thing to do to finish the series, even if they're going to end SMR after that. The second thing is we got a comment in the YouTube addressing about the Comet race that blew up on Twitter. Well, why, if that race blew up on Twitter, why would they end SMR? That's like brought in a ton of views. That race blew up. Well, I'm going to tell you why that race blew up. I'm going to tell you why it doesn't necessarily mean SMR is to stay. That race blew up as opposed to a Marble League video because Marble League takes a few events and probably a full season to get immersed into. You have to watch a few events to really kind of start appreciating it. It took me a few events until I appreciated Marble League. And you have to get into the teams and really get into that lore before you appreciate it. Marble League is not something where the general masses are immediately sucked into in like 5 seconds of watching. However, Sand Marble Rally, because it's fast-paced racing and it's in sand, it looks cool and has commentary, that is more likely to have the masses, a Twitter trend, get sucked in for 5 seconds and then get sucked back out. Obviously, besides that video, no other SMR video really blew up in that fashion. That doesn't mean keep... because that's more of a trend getter, so maybe throw one of those in every once in a while to maybe get some trends on your channel, but that doesn't mean keep a 12-race series about it. And honestly, that racing aspect is now reformed in probably a even more trendy and catchy way with Marbula 1, since Formula 1 is very popular all over the world. So that would probably, Marbula 1 would probably replace that opportunity anyway, provide that opportunity for a Twitter trend situation with that kind of racing. Mm-hmm. So that's my opinions on that. We need to get to trivia, so let's head to that. When we come back from trivia, we're going to talk about the first event of the Ice Dash. Yes, we talked a lot about SMR, the future of SMR, but the future of SMR is a very important part of the JMR channel, and so I hope you guys took some time with us to really consider this situation and what might happen in the future. And what maybe should happen in the future regarding these changes. So let's head to trivia. Play that music, everybody. Where's the music, Wuff?
It's there.
Okay, well, it's playing.
Now it's time for the trivia segment. Come on now, let's go, go, go. Go, go, go.
All right, I think we're at trivia, everybody. So, Mikotan, you got a question for us?
Uh, actually, no, I don't really have one off the top of my head. Wow.
Did we forget to tell you to prepare one, or did I mention that, but I didn't go into enough detail?
No, actually, you didn't. I don't think you mentioned that. What was it? I'm trying to think. Um, oh, actually, you know what? I do have one. So I actually know the answer.
Oh,
Okay, well,
Okay,
what are the odds of that? There we go.
All right, so I was going to ask. Well, I mean, here's the trivia. So by number of points, accumulated across their entire career, which marble athlete is the most esteemed, the most successful marble athlete by number of points?
Okay, and this does include both Marbula One and Marbula One and Marble League, or just Marble League?
Marble League in this case.
Okay.
Speedy.
That's a good question, but I don't know.
That wasn't a question. That was an answer, Brendan.
No, I'm talking more about the question Miss Mikotan asked. But see, I knew you were gonna say Savage Speeder's marble, but I mean, do we know? I mean, it's singular marbles this time, and over the course of many seasons. So I feel like it's very likely to be a Savage Speeder, but it could still work out to be a different marble who just always consistently performed well, even when their team was not performing well. Because even teams that didn't have good years sometimes would have a few good medals anyway in there. But I mean, I feel like a safe bet is picking a Savage Beater marble. So I mean, I would just say Rapidly, because no other particular single marble really sticks out to me. But I don't really like Rapidly in this situation. So I mean, just for the heck of it, I'll say a Clementon from the O'Rangers. I feel like O'Rangers also have the opportunity to maybe have that single best marble. So I'll say Clementon. What do we got?
Woff, you want to take a guess?
I already said Speedy.
Speedy? So
yes, Speedy.
Okay, so both of you guys are actually very close. So
okay.
But surprisingly enough, the most successful marble by number of points accumulated, in their career, is Starry from Team Galactic.
Wow.
What?
No.
Yep.
See, I mean, okay, at least give me a little bit of credit for at least making the mindful jump that it was a possibility that a non-Savage Speeder marble would hold that title. I mean, getting Starry would have been very, very difficult. I would never have gotten that even if we redid this 70 times.
Yeah, well,
but I at least feel like happy that I was mindful enough to make the jump that it might not be Speedy.
Well, okay. So between Speedy, I think Rapidly, Starry, and I think Clementon, they have, according again from what I've done my research, is they have the most medals, individual medals to their name out of any of the athletes.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
Speedy
very, very
and
good.
Rapidly, when you combine their medals from across Marbula 1 and their entire ML career, and I'm talking about the team in this case, not the individuals. Apparently they have around 20, I want to say it's either 24 or 26 medals. 26.
Wow. It's a bunch.
So
least.
As a team, yes, Savage Speeders is by far the most successful team, hands down.
Oh, by far, yeah. There is no argument currently there.
Mm-hmm. But as for an individual marble, an individual athlete, it's Starry.
That's awesome. That I love how to me that's one of the best trivia questions we've had on the show, and you started off saying you didn't have one. So a good turnaround on this particular one. I mean, obviously it doesn't beat the ball bearing questions from Mr. Waff. Never mind. I love the ball bearing questions though.
Don't you best marble?
That was a great question. That is a piece of trivia every marble fan should now know, at least the ones who listen to this show. Starry is the most successful single marble.
Well, and don't forget, as of right now, as we're recording this, of course, down the road, a couple months, obviously that can change.
Yeah, if you're listening to this show in a long time, maybe different. Just check in on that. Anyway, I'll go next here. We got S-Man submitting a question to me. Thank you, S-Man, for submitting. Here we go. Trivia. What is the record for the most medals in a single ML season? Team, name the team, name the amount of medals, and name a year. So meaning the most medals earned by one team in a single year. You're going to have to, again, name the team, name the amount of medals, and name the year. I don't know the answer either, so I can also offer up a guess because it's in the spoiler box. But I'll let you guys go first.
You know what?
6.
I am going to take a wild guess, and I'm going to say it's 7 medals, and I think it's actually the Minty Maniacs, and that was this year, I think. Number of medals, correct? It doesn't say golds, it just says medals.
Just medals, so yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm taking a shot in the dark, and I'm saying it's Minty Maniacs with 7.
It's a valid guess, actually. I wouldn't have even said that, but yeah, that is a valid guess. What do you think, Waff?
I say 6. Savage Speeders.
What year?
20. What was the second? It was 2020.
That's what you're gonna go with?
Oh yeah, there's no way they got that many in 2016. So
yeah, it's true. Okay, well then that's a good guess. My guess, I guess. I'll go with. I'll just tell you my thought process. I'm ruling out 2016 and 2017 only because those didn't have enough events. So obviously the extra 4 events would probably allow for more medals to be gained by the teams. So that leaves 2018, 19, and 20. 2019, who won 2019? Raspberry Racers, right? Did they win 2019? They won 2019, correct? Wow.
Yes, Raspberry Racers won 2019.
All right, so I feel like it would be the Speeders, but the Speeders didn't. They kind of were in the back until the end of this 2020. So I don't know. It could be the Speeders in 2020. It could be who won? Midnight Wisps. But I feel like the Midnight Wisps didn't score that many medals in 2018.
They came from behind.
So I'm going to go with a crazy answer here because I feel like the Raspberry Racers were quite dominant in 2019. I'm going to go Raspberry Racers with a good 8 medals over the course of the season. That's a medal every other event. And I'm going to say 2019. The answer is 3,000%. No way! Dude, it's Raspberry Racers 8 medals 2019.
Wow!
Oh my god!
You got it!
Oh, guys.
Good.
I did not think I was
Good
going to
job,
get
man.
that. Oh, no way.
You were dead on.
Guys, I'm telling you 100%. I did not know this beforehand. I just led you through the thought process I had and just kind of went with some feel on what I remember from the season. And indeed, the Marble Sports connoisseur himself comes victorious. Trust me, I get a lot of these trivia questions way wrong, so don't think I'm any great. But this one worked out. That was a great question. Thank you, S-Man, for submitting. Remember that, guys. Most medals in a single season. Raspberry Racers, 8 medals.
Well done.
2019. Thank you. I am very surprised, but also very happy. No, I'm not surprised. I'm a Marble Sports connoisseur. I knew that was going to happen. Anyway, Waff, take us with the final question.
Our last trivia question also comes from S-Man, and he asks, which events have appeared in every Marble League, not counting the 2018 Winter Edition, since, a lot of those have, different names and stuff. Okay, so,
can you ask it again? I just want to know what you're talking about.
Which events have appeared in every Marble League, not counting the 2018 Winter Edition?
2018 Winter Edition? What do you mean?
Winter Marble League.
But that's why would that not count? That's
because it's a completely different theming, and so all the event I don't think there's a single.
Oh, that's true. Like 5-meter sprint is Ice Dash and stuff like that. Right. All right. I'll take a stab at it. I'll tell you what I think. I mean, 5-meter sprint is always there.
Always.
Balancing is always there.
Balancing. Collision.
Sure, collision is very, very likely.
Relay race.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll throw it out there just because I don't know any others, but I don't think there's many more.
Hurdles. Hurdles was there. They did it differently in 2016, but the hurdles was there.
It is not in all 4 years. At least that's my opinion. This is your guess too, so.
Apparently there was no balancing in 2017, so 4. At least, that's what the chat says. But like,
no balancing in 2017. That's ridiculous. Why would you not have balancing?
I was gonna say
Stupid.
funnel race, 5-meter sprint, collision, and relay. 4.
I think it's 4 too.
I don't
but
know if funnel race was in 2016. I don't remember.
I don't think funnel race was 2016 either.
So
I'm gonna go with 5-meter sprint, relay race, hurdles, and collision. That's what I'm going with. Those 4.
All of those except hurdles. I'm going with 3. And I guess you're going with your 4, Mikotan. So tell us what the answer is.
The answer is, it is 3 with collision, hurdles, and relay race.
Oh, well, I was not. Wait, 5-meter sprint wasn't in all 4?
Wasn't in 2016, I'm assuming.
Wow. Well, there you have it. Hurdles has been in every year.
It was 10-meter sprint.
Oh, that's BS. BS on that. That's ridiculous.
Technicalities. Gotta love them.
Technicalities, man. All right, but anyway, that's going to wrap up the trivia segment for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I think we had 3 very strong questions. I really enjoyed the new trivia that we gleaned here today. So let's head back to the show, talk Winter Marble League for a little bit, and then wrap up the episode. It'll be about an hour and 15, a little longer, but you know what? Marbles. Listen about them. The marbles. So play the music.
That was the trivia segment. Now let's head back to the show. The show. Oh.
The music play, Ricochet?
Yes, it did. It sure did.
Ricochet. All right, sorry guys, we're back.
All right.
We are back, and we have one final subject to cover, and that would be the Winter Marble League first event, 5-meter ice dash. And I'm going to kind of lay out exactly how we're going to go about this. There's a couple things. There's an order at which I want to go. First thing I want to do is talk about the results of our fantasy picks. Second thing I want to do is talk about the marbles and what we think about the players and stuff. And then I want to end with discussing ice dash versus 5-meter sprint. And I have a specific question, like I said earlier, that I brought up that I'm going to want to focus on for that. So let's start with the Fantasy League. Waff, why don't you talk about yours? Mikotan, did you make a Fantasy League for this?
No, I didn't. I actually did not know about. I didn't even know that you can do that until it was too late. So like, oh no, I didn't.
I almost missed it too.
I missed it.
Yeah.
But before we continue, didn't you also say we were going to try and do like a recap kind of for 2020?
Yeah, I mean, we went really long on the Sand Marble Rally discussion. So for the recap, maybe I mean, next week we don't usually have a guest on, but because you wanted to do that, maybe we want to hit that really hard next week, and maybe we'll have you back on consecutive weeks to do that. But we can talk about that after the show, because I really do want to do that. But of course, it's important that we cover the very important topics.
Of course.
In the current situation. So maybe we hit that next week and really try to cover that, but we'll talk about that after the show. And yeah, that's for you guys, the listeners, too. We might be doing that on the next week episode. There's a little sneak peek, I guess. But Waff, why don't you discuss the Fantasy League? Your fantasy league.
I didn't create one. It says that signups are still open, so I guess I can technically still join. I just keep forgetting how you do it.
You're an event late, so I mean, I wouldn't do it now. I mean, you're an event late. This is very big points. You missed, but I'll at least talk about mine. So I picked the Green Ducks for my ×3 multiplier because of their momentum from Marbula 1 and their general strong performance in Marble League. We saw them as a rookie team very well in 2019 and do decently in 2020. I picked the Savage Speeders for a ×2 multiplier because they won Marble League this year. They should do at least decent. The Crazy Cat's Eyes, again, I put them on my team. I regret that I did not put them in the multiplier, though I do not expect them to do well across all 5 events, but they do seem to do well in the racing-based events. Snowballs I threw in there because it's winter. Team Galactic I flew in there because they're very consistent. And all of these teams proved to be pretty well in the first event. I ended up with 92 points. I'm about 62 in the standings in the Marble League. Oh, they spelled it wrong. They called it Winter Margle League.
Did they really? They did.
But all of these teams, I will say this, and you should recognize this, all of these teams passed the first round in the 5-meter sprint. All of these teams advanced to round 2. And even though not all of them won, actually only one of them got to the final round, and that would be the Crazy Cat's Eyes. They all put up a very good fight, and they were all in it at least until the second round. So they're all teams that are going to be at least decently strong contenders throughout the next 4 events. So I'm very happy with the picks I made, even though I'm only middle of the pack right now as far as scoring. I think it's going to increase over the next few events, especially when the Savage Speeders make their rear their heads in different events, and the Snowballs, and Team Galactic continues in its consistent way. So I'm hoping for some continued positive outcomes from these teams. I think they're going to do well. But yeah, we should. Do you guys have any like standout things you want to discuss as far as the event goes from any teammates, any teams?
I was surprised by how well the Team Momo did. They did surprisingly well. Like that collision in the semifinals of like between them and Starry. Or what was it?
I don't remember for Starry. I think it might have been.
It was a pretty big collision. Like, it was.
Yeah, Starry. It was Starry between Starry and Momo.
Ah, yes. So like it was quite an intense race. Very surprising how that went. I heard some people complaining about how like it was a wood track, but I mean that's how it was the last time they did it. So I mean, what did you expect?
No, you can expect ice. I mean, I don't know. They could have figured something out. I don't know. I think it would have been a lot to expect actual ice. And
I just they would have to drop the temperature so low in there in that big old studio thing. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I feel like that's something they shouldn't do until they have like 5 million subs, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, Momo is definitely a standout. Momo has kind of been doing overall quite well across most Marble Sports series of late. So maybe it's just a new leaf for them. On the other side of the coin, Pinkies in their new uniform did not really do much different. If you look at the stats, they finish 11th. Not great, not bad. That's a classic Pinkies finish. And we'll see how they do in the other events. Mm-hmm. But again, the Crazy Cat's Eyes showing their speed, coming out strong, coming out fast, and coming out with a lot of aggression in most of the races. They did a good job. They did a good job at making charges about halfway down the course, which is important. They did a good job keeping other marbles out of their way who tried to come out around them. We saw a couple times the Hazers tried to get up around the Crazy Cat's Eyes, and they could not. The Crazy Cat's Eyes were able to stay fast, but also stay strong in their position and not be pushed side to side. Crazy Cat's Eyes did a great job not bumping into the walls, not letting themselves roll over to the sides and lose speed because of that diagonal lateral motion. So those are all positive things that all other teams should be watching the Crazy Cat's Eyes film on this particular event, being like, that's how I should be doing the Ice Dash.
And yeah, like obviously, so obviously for me as a Hazards fan, I am very, very happy that they took silver. But yeah, like now obviously with the opening and such, like it's not obviously as grand, I guess, of a spectacle as as the main Marvel League is, but that's that's to be expected. But you do have to really give it to. It still was nice. You do really have to give it to the JMR, I think, for or putting together this event on relatively short notice, and despite that fact, they had a packed stadium. It's like, I gotta say, I tried to get tickets for that event. Yeah, they were sold out like really fast.
Being a VIP patron, I'm already at my ticket reserved.
Yeah, see, lucky. It's like, I have to watch it here at home. Oh well. Yeah, but you're right. Like this is from what I've been seeing, it's like on one hand, was I surprised that Crazy Cat's Eyes came out with the gold? Not really, because now that I'm seeing this, it's like, and I'm looking at this, what it seems like, what was it? So everyone knows, so Crazy Cat's Eyes is hosting this year. So what it seems like is that they've been really prepping and really training
Wait.
for speed.
I thought Minty Maniacs were hosting this year.
No, Crazy Cat's Eyes are hosting the
main
Marble
one.
League this year.
The main
Oh,
one.
main
Sorry.
one. Okay.
The
Main one. Come on, Waff.
The main
Wake
one.
the Waff up. Waff up.
Well, I thought we're talking about the Winter Marble League, so I figured that's what he was mentioning.
Well, he's looking forward. He's projecting forward.
Gotcha.
Well,
gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha.
but what I'm saying is right. But what I'm saying is that the Crazy Cat's Eyes, it seems like they've been really, I think, been kind of adjusting their strategy to focus more on the speed-based events, because you know how they decided to put Red Eye and Yellow Eye for Marbula 1, and it looks like they picked Blue Eye. It looks like Blue and Green Eye for these events. Kind of, splitting it up a little bit. It's like, oh, I see what they're trying to go with this. Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm looking at strategy.
I can't. I'm glad you brought that up, because something like think about it. Yellow Eye, Red Eye, they're the Marbula 1. They're fast. Obviously, they've been doing great in Marbula 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're not even participating in Winter Marble League. They throw Blue Eye in there, and Blue Eye comes out and does something, and I'm glad I have the video pulled up here. I'm about to do some actual very, very quick slow speed analysis, which is not something I often do during the podcast, but I recommend you jump over to the YouTube real quick, because I'm going to spend a couple seconds here really talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
On Blue Eye here, because Blue Eye, some of the best Ice Dash racing I've ever seen. I mean, I actually want to start this off. So, if you look at the YouTube right now, you see when in the first race here against the O'Rangers come out way ahead. They're on top. They're fast. Look at Blue Eye and the Hazers right now. If you're watching here on the YouTube, if you're not just trying to make a word picture. Blue Eye comes to the left side, drafts behind the O'Rangers marble, comes to the left side, pushes past. Hazers then draft behind the Blue Eye, and also are able to just barely get past the O'Rangers. Incredible racing. I'm going to show that again here on the YouTube. Just how well put together Blue Eye was during over the course of this first heat. Just he comes out behind. He comes out almost falling back in the last. But he's able to, like I said, keep himself not only, able behind Clementin enough to draft behind and gain speed, but look at how he moves here. Obviously, Clementin is there. Clementin's fast. Clementin's in the way. Blue Eye needs to get around him. But Blue Eye knows if he hits the side of the wall, he's going to lose speed. He's able to thread the needle, get around Clementin here, not hit the wall until the last second, until he's past Clementin, so he can maintain that speed. He ends up pulling the Hazers with him. And the Hazers, smart on them to follow Blue Eye, knowing that was the intended plan and that was their best chance. And just the overall heads-up racing that I see from Blue Eye right there, being able to draft towards the left but stay in away from the wall until the very last second. I mean, that's something you just cannot you just don't see every day in Marble League. So I just had to point that out. That that kind of racing, in my opinion, is absolutely deserving of a medal. So Blue Eye did not just win on luck. That is very noticeable skill out there, and same for the Hazers. So I just wanted to really highlight that.
Of course, yeah. Sorry, Wolf, did you say something?
I was going to mention.
Get in there, Wolf.
I was going to mention how many marbles broke the old record. While only 2 of them were showcased, a lot of the times were above the old record. So a lot of these teams really improved.
Marbles are getting
the
faster.
Past 2,
Marbles are getting
almost
faster.
3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
I mean, to pull myself out of the role play here, obviously within the role play we would say, okay, well, Marble Sports has existed longer, they've had more time to train, now they're better 5 years now instead of 3 years. But to pull myself out of the role play, I just want to provide this sort of an analogy here. Maybe not an analogy, I'm just going to try to talk about it. I mean, I have some possible analogies, but they may not be understood by everybody. But normally, okay, I'm going to try the analogy. So in baseball, okay, you have to buy a glove. You have to buy a glove because, well, that's how you catch the ball. Now, in baseball, a new glove is a great thing. But the problem with a new glove is that it needs to be broken in. It has to be broken in for quite a little bit before it becomes its peak performance, so to speak. Before it performs at its most prime level. And so the way I look at Marble League is the same way. I mean, these Marble teams now 5 years in. Yes, I know, I mean, this is outside of the role play. We get it in the role play, they're training and blah, blah, blah. The Marbles have been now performing in Marble League and just been active because they're racing and all these things for the last 5 years. So in essence, they've been broken in. They're not new gloves anymore. They're not new marbles. So I don't know how that looks for a marble to be broken in. Maybe because they roll so much that it's kind of like water rushing over rocks. The rocks get smoother, so maybe the marbles are rolling and getting smoother. Maybe they're chipping in the right places. Maybe they're dropping some weight or losing some non-spherical formation. They're becoming more spherical in whatever it is they're doing. But in my opinion, marbles are getting slightly faster. You're seeing these records being broken on these events in slightly a more positive way because these marbles are broken in. So if you want to ponder outside the role play, well, why are all these records being broken so often? Because it was like 2 or 3 times in the Ice Dash. As inside the role play, you can say training over the course of many years, but outside the role play, just as the glove needs to be broken in to be able to be more usable when you play baseball, marbles get broken in. I think, I mean, at least it's possible after they're used for quite a bit of time. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but that's some possibility I propose.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we talked about with MFA a long time ago that like over time they would get like micro damage, so we actually thought that they would be getting worse with age. So this is definitely a different take than we have talked about. I definitely want to defer this to Miko. I want to see what you think about this.
Oh, can I just jump in real quick? Thank you
sure.
for finally finding the correct word for that, because I've hated saying microchips because it sounds like computer. Micro damage works perfectly, so I'm glad you finally came up with that. Just saying. Go ahead, Miko.
Well, I don't know if you've seen this too, but like it's kind of like, you know, there could be a very minute thing called golf ball effect. Are you guys aware of that golf ball? You know how
The
a
golf
golf
ball
ball
effect?
is
No.
dented. Golf ball effect. Okay, so the idea is that golf ball, they have these little dents on them, right? And the idea is that those little dents actually help the ball to actually fly further. So it is
Yeah, the dimples. Yeah.
it is very possible that the marbles are picking up these very minute dents, you know, just enough to tweak.
Micro damage, as
Yeah,
they call
the
it.
little micro dents, which just might give them, you know, make them go that slightly bit faster. Okay, again, can I prove that? No, I can't. No, but I will say this, and I've been meaning to say this actually for a while because I've been, you know, I at least wanted to point this out to all the viewers and such. So, on one hand, you know, I know people were like wondering, you know, this is going to be like a short season. Are we going to see another one like next year? It may be, but at the same time, on one hand, I am a little bit I am a bit too in two minds about the Winter Marble League, because on one hand, you know, am I glad that we have more events? You know, great. That's, you know, of course I am. At the same time, you know, I know you guys mentioned this, in previous episodes, but at the same time, I start to get a little bit wary of just how absolutely packed now, the teams and for the athletes, their schedules have become, because now
That's true.
once they finish this, they have maybe a couple months break before they have to continue, you know, Marvel One Season 2. They probably get another couple of breaks, and then they have to start up and they start up Marvel League again.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
It is a packed schedule, and I think that for the sake of marble sports year round being something that we would want as viewers, we need to remove ourselves from the role play and realize that these, or at least in the role play, change our thinking and realize these are top athletes and competing multiple times in the year and actually competing as a job over the course of the year, almost constantly, as part of their job and part of their training, and really part of what really makes them good competitors, because they are so active. So we should not we should not be like, oh, well, we need to baby them. No. We need to be aware that more content is necessary for JMR. More frequent content, of course, is a good thing, as well as these marbles as athletes need to be competing very often. So that's how I would respond to that. But at this point, we are getting pretty late into the show, so we're going to start to wrap up here. I did have one question that I wanted to talk about regarding Ice Dash, but this is a packed question in my opinion that I really want to delve into and kind of bring into other light. So I think we're going to save this one to begin next week before we then do our throwback to 2020.
Of course.
Part. So
there's something we should run, like the whole golf ball thing. I think that's more helpful with for golf, like since the golf balls are in the air. Doesn't whereas on the ground, I think it wouldn't affect as much. But the other thing that we really needed, I guess, mention is the Pinkies debuted their new uniforms this time.
And they did not seem to perform in any better light because of the new uniforms. But we might see maybe we'll see some interesting performances in the future.
Yeah, at least now they don't get mixed up with the snowballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did look nicer in the new uniforms anyway. I'll give them that. They look more presentable.
Yeah.
They looked pinker and more like well designed, so I liked it.
Oh, I completely agree. And no offense to the Orangers, to Mellow Yellow, to the Pinkies, and to the Snowballs, but but I've always preferred the more fanciful designs, just because it just looks so much cooler and so much sleeker. Like if you look at Team Primary, they look, they're very colorful. They're very standoff. They stand out quite a bit. If you look at, Oceanics, yeah, you can make fun of them all they want, but you have to admit, they do look very nice. The beautiful.
Yeah, I agree.
Hmm?
I feel like there's a very solid place for the solid colors. I like the solid colors, and I'm not gonna knock the solid colors as being less visually appealing than the non-solid colors, but I will agree that it's not the taking away at least the replacement of the Pinkies uniform looks much nicer. I will say there is a place for some of the solid color marbles in Marble League, though. I would say that.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right then. So we will probably wrap it up here, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. We have a lot coming on. Coming next week, we got, like I said, I got a big question about Ice Dash we didn't even cover today. We're going to throw back to 2020. We might have a new event. And we're going to try to bring all of that to you in a nice, neatly wrapped episode in the following week. But hope you guys enjoy the first week of your new year and the first Marble Sports tournaments from JMR in the new year. And Waf, why don't you take us out? First of all, before you do that, I'm getting ahead of myself. Thank you, Mikotan, for coming on today.
Yes, thank you so much.
Appreciated you coming on, and you proved to provide some very, very interesting insight into some of the topics we discussed today. So thank you very much for that.
Well, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys have me on. Maybe for next week or some other time.
Yeah. We may have you on next week to do the throwback to 2020. I know you wanted to do that, but we will certainly have you on over time in the long run many more times because your Marble Sports knowledge seems to be quite insightful. So, anyway, thank you for coming on again, and Waf, why don't you take us out for the day?
All right. Roll on, Marble Sports fans.